Drowning is the leading cause of death for children 1 to 4 years old. But the good news is it can be prevented by following these safety tips. Children need constant supervision when in or around water, bath time included. Designate a water watcher dedicated to distraction-free supervision. A life jacket in the proper size should be worn by children who can't swim. Use child-proof locks and door alarms on all doors leading to the pool area. Secure the pool area with a self-closing, self-latching gate. Keep toys and floating objects out of the pool. Pool alarms can be placed in the water for additional safety. Lastly, teach your children to swim. Check with your local recreation or aquatic center for swim lessons in your area. And check with your local fire department about CPR lessons. It could save a life. Visit largo.com/swimsafety to learn more about free water safety kits and life jackets from Largo Fire Rescue.
Heads up, Largo, your safety is our priority, and most pedestrians aren't as easy to see as Captain Play. Did you know Largo Fire Rescue responds to hundreds of vehicle versus pedestrian or bicyclist collisions each year? So when you're driving, be on the lookout for pedestrians and bicyclists. And when you see a flashing pedestrian beacon, be ready to stop. If you're a pedestrian or bicyclist, please always use the crosswalk when crossing a road. If you are at a crosswalk with a flashing beacon, push the button as soon as you arrive to tell drivers you want to cross. Once traffic has completely stopped, it's safe to cross. Captain Play, will you show us the way? The City of Largo wants you to stay safe. So remember, heads up, Largo, whether you're a motorist, pedestrian, or bicyclist. Don't let distractions limit your visibility, because wherever you're going, the goal is to arrive safely. Thanks, Captain Play, for showing us the way.
Let's see, here we are. Well, thanks for joining me today. I know some of you will be watching this either on my Facebook page or on the city's page, or maybe watching it later, just kind of catching up. There's not a whole lot on my list today, mostly kind of stuff that's happening and I wanted to share with everybody. If you have a question, that will certainly add to things I can talk about, so please put a question in the comments, and if you are watching live right now, please say hello so that I know that you're here. It's October 3rd, and there's a lot of stuff happening in October. Things, the weather is, I think it's 72 degrees this morning, so it's a little bit nicer outside. It's still supposed to get up to 91 today, so there's that. But October is when we start seeing some cool downs and cold fronts and that type of thing. So what's going on? Let me see. The CSX crossing over at the middle school. Good morning, Joan. Thanks for being here. Is closed right now. It'll be closed. It's supposed to be closed between the 2nd and the 6th. CSX is putting a new tub, as they've done. I think they did it once before at this crossing, to tell you the truth. But they're putting, maybe they just fixed it, but they're putting a full cement tub across that crossing, and it should be done by the 6th. They take a long time to start a project, but they're usually pretty much on time when they get out there and start doing the projects. So this is a CSX project that we have to pay for. That's kind of the way it works with the railroad crossings, and so they're putting in a new tub there. It should make it so that you can drive across that railroad track there without chattering your teeth, so that'll be good. It's been needed for quite a while. Let me see. Play Express is today. Play Express, if you don't know, it's a program where we have a small staff that takes a mobile trailer out to different places around Largo and invites kids to come and play with different things, corn toss and horseshoes and different interactive programs that the recreation leaders bring out, and it's for kids of all ages. It's it's 3 to 5 today at Taylor Park, and then on Thursdays this month it will be out at Datsco Park. So on Tuesdays at Taylor Park, on Thursdays at Datsco Park, and that's for the month of October. So there's no cost or anything, and people are invited to come and bring their kids, and it's a nice little event. I've gone by and taken the boys when they were a little bit smaller. Now they actually volunteer sometimes when they're out of school for the Play Express. This coming weekend is train weekend at Largo Central Park. If you haven't been, good morning, Terry. If you haven't been, let me look. I got a question here. Good. If you haven't been to a train weekend at Largo Central Park, you should ride on the train. I've ridden it several times, so even the big kids enjoy it. It's a nice little track around the whole Central Park, and doesn't cost anything. They just ask for some donations. No need to respond to this post. Can we force public access to CSX rail line? Let me read this, Matt. And good morning. So yeah, the challenge with CSX really holds the power on those lines. There's still some conversations with the CSX rail line as far as if we could do some type of north to south mass transit, and I'm not sure if that's going anywhere. There's a couple rail lines, old rail lines. The Pinellas County Trail is an example of an old CSX line that the county was able to work with CSX to make that into a trail. But we can't force public access to the CSX rail line because CSX owns it. And like I said, they have kind of historical powers because the railways were here before the roads were, certainly in Pinellas County. So CSX holds the cards on that. That's why we have to wait for a year sometimes to get a crossing, like the one on West Bay Drive a few years ago. So this, let me see, the Historical Society's Museum at the feed store at Largo Central Park will have an open house this weekend from 12 to 2. Again, if you haven't been to the Historical Society's Museum's open house, there's Historical Society members that are there. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary of the Historical Society this year. That's exciting. But many of their members will volunteer there, and most of those folks grew up in Largo, and they're older than me. So they have some historical knowledge of the city, and they love to sit and talk with you about what it looked like when they were kids and the changes that they've seen over the years. And then there's a whole bunch of artifacts from days gone by in the museum that they'll talk to you about. Largo was a citrus packing hub back in the day, in the early part of last century. I've heard this. I haven't got solid confirmation on this, but out of the packing plant in Largo, there was more citrus packed and sent out from Largo than anywhere else in the world for a period of time back in the 1900s. So, or probably 1920s or 30s. Good morning, Jenny and Danny. Good morning. How you doing? I wish that my my comment thing was keeping. There we are. Oh, that's a good question, David. I'm going to check on that because we, as David mentioned. Good morning, Dave. We sent a new brought a new reclaimed water line over to the Horizon building. For a couple reasons. So number one, to have reclaimed on site for landscaping, but more importantly, it's going to be like a hydrothermic or a heat sink for our HVAC system, and it's going to, rather than have a big chiller and all that, we're going to use the reclaimed water system to help cool our HVAC. So it's a kind of an innovative system, but it is causing us to put a big reclaim. Man, that's kind of a glare, huh? A big reclaimed water line over into downtown. So seeing about access to the neighbors nearby, I'll check on that. So running lines to residential roads is costly, but we need places to put reclaimed water. So I will see if we've looked at that. Let me look. Good morning, Kara. Thanks for being here. Matt, I'm gonna that comment's too long. I'm gonna have to come back to that, but I'll look at it afterwards. So next Saturday, mark your calendars. October 14th is Shred Fest. So if you've got boxes of papers that you'd like to get shredded, bring them out to the Starkey Road Recycling Facility. I think it's 12 to 2, but I don't have a time written down on my notes. But I think it's 12 to 2. Come on by, and you can just have the box of papers in your trunk. They'll help get it out and drop it in the big shredder, and they'll make the paper go away, or it won't completely go away. It'll get recycled, but they'll shred it up securely for you. Let me see. Also in October, we have a couple other events. This Friday is the grand reopening of Woodrow Park in downtown. I just drove by there this morning and took a look at how it looks. It looks great. They did some really nice little upgrades. Woodrow Park is a small neighborhood park in northwest Largo, and it was really in need of some attention, and it gets a lot of use from the residents that live over there. So the Woodrow Park grand reopening will be this Friday in the afternoon, and I think it starts at 5:30. This Thursday at 3 o'clock, we have a state appropriations funding for a new restroom at Largo Central Park. So new restroom facilities, an expansion of the restroom facilities at Largo Central Park. As you know, we have some really big events, and for those events we bring in portalets and then take them out, bring them in and take them out. Some of our bigger events will still need to put portalets in, but think about Paul Fest, which gets a few thousand people. We won't have to bring in portalets for that. We'll have enough bathroom facilities on site, and frankly, those bathrooms get heavy use on the weekends anyways, as they are. So it'll be nice. We got state funding for that. We'd like to thank Senator Nick DeSigli and Representative Bernie Jacques, who helped us get those. They sponsored on either side, on the House side and on the Senate side, for that appropriation. It's the first appropriation that I've seen us get through the finish line, where the governor signed on it and everything at the end, and we're actually going to get some money for a cool project in our Central Park. So Senator DeSigli and Representative Jacques will be presenting us with the check. It's probably not the real check, like a ceremonial check, on Thursday, 3 o'clock at Largo Central Park near Shelter 8. So Shredfest is from 9 to noon. Thank you, Kara. I appreciate the information. Like I said, I didn't have the times on my notes here, so thank you for the that's a good point. Is that, Dave, do you know what the date's on that? That's this weekend, isn't it? This weekend there's going to be a rock and roll half marathon road race that comes through Largo. It actually comes down Fort Harrison and then gets on the trail where the trail meets Fort Harrison, up near the Bel Air Country Club. Maybe that's the Bel Air Country Club, the golf course anyways. So it's going to be on the trail. So it's not going to be on Clear Largo Road through Largo, but it will come off of the trail at West Bay. So there'll be some road closing of West Bay. on Saturday morning this weekend. I'm pretty sure it's Saturday morning, but that's this weekend. Good morning, Mr. Klapka. I can't say Mike because Mr. Klapka was my American government teacher at Largo High School. Now he's retired now. He was the last Largo High School teacher that I had that retired, so it makes me feel officially old. But it's good to see you here. And I'll always call you Mr. Klapka. Let me see. The 27th of October, we will have a trick-or-treat trail, and that is for, oh man, it's probably beautiful up there in Williamsburg. So the trick-or-treat trail will be at City Hall, and it's going to be starts at 5:30. I suggest that you get there early. The lines are long. It's really for families and young kids. There's some specific rules and regulations, like you can't bring your own bag or trick-or-treat container. We'll provide bags for the trick-or-treat trail, but it goes around Largo Central or Largo City Hall, and that's at 5:30 on October 27th. Also, that night is Halloween, so if you don't want to have the big crowds of the trick-or-treat trail, you can go over to Halloween at McGow Nature Center. I think there's, pardon me, I think the cost is $5, or it's free for children under 2. But it's a cool little event, and that is at the same time. It's at 5:30 to 9 over at McGow. You can get more information on that on the city's website. October 20th, which is a couple weeks away, there's going to be a concert in the Breezeway over at the golf course. So that's October 20th. There's a new series of concerts in the Breezeway while it's nice and cool out over at the golf course. So you can get more information on that as well. One more thing, you've probably seen some Largo Live signs around talking about our live music series that we do in the winter when it's cooler out. And the first one will be on the 13th. So next Friday night, and it'll be at Ulmer Park. So 10:13 at Ulmer Park, Largo Live. You can get more information on our city's website as well. So I'm going to look through my list here real quick and make sure I got everything on this. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in October. I probably missed some things. So as you may know, the Florida legislative session starts early this year. It starts in January 9th. They've actually already had some committee meetings back in September. Then they'll meet again for committees later in October. I think it's the third week of October. And then the committees meet again in November. Their session starts on January 9th, and it should wrap up by March 8th because it is an election year for folks in Tallahassee, so they start that session a little bit early so they can go back to campaigning, I guess. But some things that may come up that we're kind of watching. One that I hope they do some meaningful improvements to is property insurance. They keep talking about the property insurance problems in the state of Florida, and I'm not sure that they've got have done anything meaningful in that arena in Tallahassee. But hopefully they find out some solutions for that. It is on the radar. There's people still talking about the challenges that it is to own property in Florida right now. Live Local Act. Many of you may know about the Live Local Act. It is largely an affordable housing group of legislation, but it does a lot of things to encourage new housing, encourage affordable housing in the state. One of the things it does is it restricts cities from regulating height or density in industrial zoned properties when affordable housing is being put on those properties. So the challenge that it's presented for Largo and for many cities is that it largely disregards the planning that cities have done for decades. And if you want to build affordable housing in industrial areas, you can do it without much oversight. So that's been a challenge. We haven't yet seen stuff coming out of the ground in Largo, but some other cities have, and I think that they might look at that, but I'm not that optimistic that they'll kind of pull that back at all. Listen, affordable housing is necessary, and it's people need places to live, but when you are disregarding decades and decades of community planning by the cities and by the residents, it's kind of a challenge for me, anyways. Apparently, healthcare is going to be a big conversation this year. I'm not sure exactly from what aspect the state is going to attempt to fix or help our healthcare system. But that my understanding in doing some research in the last couple of days is that seems to be the main focus, at least that's what they're saying, for Tallahassee this coming session. So healthcare, they're going to solve that in 3 months. So good luck. Hopefully they are able to make some good changes, I guess. Let me see. I've got just a couple more things, but I want to see if there's any questions on here. If you guys have any questions that you'd like me to try to address, I would appreciate it. And I'll go back through there. I may have missed these, but I'll check on Reclaim Water, like I said, David. What is that? Yeah, I'll go back and take a look at the comments to see if there's any questions I missed afterwards. The only thing I have left on my list is Largo Packers. Well, the Bucks won. Largo Packers won last week. I think we beat Countryside up in Countryside 35-0. And Largo plays Seminole this Friday night. So the Packers are sitting at 5-1. We play down in Seminole on Friday night. And then I think the game's at 3:30. The Rays play today. I'm wearing my Rays blue shirt. I'm trying to look at the schedule. I have the schedule over there, but we play Texas today. First game of the wild card series, and hopefully we stick it to them. I think we're the favored team, so we. Is that right? Yeah, we are. So we're playing a home game today, I would expect. I'm not sure on that, though. I should have figured that out for sure. But anyways, go Rays. If you guys have any more questions, please just mention it here, and we will I'll try to answer it. If I can't, I'll find the answer for you. You guys have a great week.
I'm Megan, and I'm so glad you're here. It's a beautiful day in Largo, where the city has been committed to building the community of choice in Tampa Bay by focusing on sustainability, public health and safety, and community pride. There's been a lot to see in 2023, and today I want to give you just a glimpse of what's being done to build the community and what's on the horizon. Let's start with what Largo's doing to address one of Pinellas County's greatest needs, which is housing and its impact on building a sustainable community. I'm at First Avenue Northeast, where, as you can see, a new home is under construction. In addition to representing the hope of home ownership for a first-time home buyer, this home is also a story of collaboration and community partnerships.
So Largo is addressing the need for more affordable housing by modifying development codes and partnering with developers and nonprofits. So we are working with a nonprofit, it's Suncoast Housing Connections, and they actually are building it as their own home. So that way the homeowner, when they move in, the utility costs will not be as high.
Adding on all of the sustainability, the solar, the extra insulation, the on-demand hot water heater, and other things like that, we're able to eliminate, for the most part, all of the utility costs for the home buyer.
Largo is also working with developers and teaming up with other community partners as well.
Grand Oaks is a new apartment complex on Clearwater Largo Road with mixed housing for affordable and market rate units. We also have a partnership with Catholic Charities where a new home was just built for a family exiting homelessness. Seminole Square is another partnership with Pinellas County Housing Authority, City of Largo, and private investors.
Suncoast Housing Connections hopes the home will be ready for its first owner by fall of 23. Now, other investments in Largo's commitment to sustainability and resilience this year include increasing Largo's fleet of electric vehicles, modernizing operational software, and expanding the Largo Public Library's home delivery service. Another area that Largo has been making strides is pursuing financial sustainability in public safety by seeking grant funding to accomplish key projects. Now, I'm at the Largo Police Department where officers are now equipped with body-worn video cameras, thanks in part to a federal appropriation grant that is sharing the cost of this potentially life-saving technology.
Body-worn cameras are standard equipment for police in 2023. This project really was a major step forward for Largo PD. We were able to secure a competitive federal grant as well as a federal earmark. It allowed us to accomplish the project sooner, allowed us to buy more cameras up front, and allowed us to implement the project a little bit faster.
Body-worn cameras have been beneficial to officers to help us document the environments that we go into and the conditions that we encounter residents in.
In addition to the police body cameras competitive grant and federal earmark, the city has also secured federal funding for the Largo Public Library solar project and state funding towards a new restroom facility at Largo Central Park.
Largo is also pursuing additional earmark and grant funding opportunities.
Pending grant applications for other important projects include the replacement of the McGowan Nature Park Boardwalk, the relocation and elevation of 3 wastewater lift stations, installation of electric vehicle charging stations at all public city facilities, and new equipment for Largo Fire Rescue.
Another investment this year in public safety includes increased staffing at Station 41, which has provided a dedicated medic unit to administer advanced life support by a non-transport capable unit. Largo also takes great community pride in its parks, green spaces, and natural ecosystem. Largo's network of over 50 ponds helps preserve the environment and protect our local waterways. Many investments have also been made this year in Largo's stormwater infrastructure.
All the sedimentation, toxins, things that go over impervious surfaces into our stormwater system will end up in a pond. The pond will then allow for the sedimentation to drop to the bottom of the pond, filter out some of the impurities, make that water a little cleaner, and then at some point send it back into the system downstream.
A few notable investments into a more proactive streets and stormwater system include a pavement preservation program and interactive map to assist with pavement planning.
With a better structure of identifying issues, Largo will be better equipped to maintain our stormwater system. This will ensure that our waterways are maintained and we're doing our part to not only protect our citizens, but also the environment, to ensure that our ponds and our channels are as clean as they can be, as visually appealing as they can be.
So as you can see, it's been an eventful 2023, and in some ways, Largo's just getting started. Budget priorities in 2024 include investments in serving those experiencing homelessness and continuing to focus on team members who build the community of choice. Largo also has its sights set on a vibrant downtown. Several new downtown additions are in the works right now, including a mixed-use project in the development review process called The Station, the Skyview Townhomes, which are currently under construction, and Horizon West Bay, Largo's new downtown City Hall complex. This unique mixed-use project will be LEED certified, add a parking garage to downtown, and host 18,000 square feet of retail space to attract destination restaurants, nightlife, and local retail to Largo's downtown district. So stay connected to the future of downtown Largo and Horizon West Bay at downtownlargo.com. And you can stay connected to the future of Largo's budget and get involved in the process by visiting largo.com/budget.